Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to Joe's Retro World. Today, we're going to take a look at the Game Boy Micro. That was cool. This is the great thing about the Game Boy Micro. First of all, it has a beautiful backlit IPS screen that is just amazing. It looks good. It's comparable to the IPS screens you buy nowadays when you mod in your system. And then just look at it, y'all. Look at this beauty. She's a little beat up, but dang it, she is sexy. All metal cast, plastic buttons that have a metal finish. And a little deceiving, but it's okay. You have swappable faces. They're not supposed to come off like this. You're supposed to push with paper clips those two little holes right here, and right there. And they push these tabs and allow you to swap faces. Just like that. Got another face right over here. Got the little ghost. I prefer this beautiful shiny one. I really do like it. And you're supposed to go in here because it has these little feet. Watch out. The little feet. Push in here. And then over here, I always just push the feet in gently. I can't do it while I'm looking at the camera. But yeah, that's it. Now, when I got this Game Boy Advance, the guy who sold it to me, he forgot my charger because it is proprietary. So if you don't have, you got to buy one because the Game Boy Advance SP and regular, which is not rechargeable, or the DS that replaced this, their chargers don't work with it. So he went ahead and sent it to me later in another box. And when he did that, he sent me a gift to say sorry. And I was like, oh man, that's just too cool. So he sent me Super Mario Land 2 for the original Game Boy. That is a fun game. Fire Emblem, the Sacred Stones. And he also sent me the blue face along with it. So that was really, really nice of him. And this is my first Game Boy Advance Micro. I've never had one. And I'm just blown away about how cool it really is. It looks and plays so cool. It is really small, but it's still very comfortable to play. You has adjustable brightness, so you hold the left trigger button down, and right over here is your volume control, but you push up and down and controls the brightness. And the screen, as you can see, the screen is really beautiful. Let me see if I can focus. There you go. Look at that. Look how great that screen is. It's very colorful, very responsive, and it's amazing that this little bitty thing has such a beautiful screen. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see when you're playing, and you can see that my fingers are just monsters compared to the game system. And then if you compare it to a Game Boy Advance game, look, the console is no bigger than the cartridge. It's like it fits in there. Dang, that's crazy. So yeah, it's snug in there. Every game looks beautiful, no matter what. And I have over here the original Game Boy Advances that it replaced. So this was the original Game Boy Advance. This was a non-lit back screen, but it was color. It was good and fun. It was really nice to play. But they upped the ante when you got this thing. It's crazy. Oh, wait, wrong game. I wanted to show the other game. I got more over here, but I just wanted to show you these while I'm giving you some information. And then, of course, it was the Game Boy Advance SP the little clamshell design. And I recently found out that if you pay attention, this Game Boy Advance SP, it actually is supposed to look like the original Game Boy DMG, like back there. See that black one I got back here? Yeah, there you go. See it back there? This is supposed to be a montage to that. You can see it, huh? But yeah, after the Game Boy Advance SP, they went ahead and released this just for a little bit. I think it was like 2 years. Let me grab my specs over here. So it was originally released in September 13, 2005 in Japan. And then it was released September 19, 2005 in America. And everywhere else by November of that year. It was sold for $100, $99.99. It sold over 2.42 million as of March of 2007. And it had a 32-bit ARM 7 TDMI CPU that ran at 16.78 megahertz. And yeah, like I said, its successor was the Game Boy, the Nintendo DS, which was this. This replaced it. This was the DS Lite. Now the other Nintendo DS was a lot bigger and bulkier. I don't really like the form factor. But down here is where you put your Game Boy Advance game, and boom, you're able to choose which screen you actually use to play the Game Boy Advance screen on your Nintendo DS, which was really, really cool. But when you sit down to play your game on this micro machine, come on. There you go. Sorry about that, y'all. When you sit down and just to play this, you're just blown away by how good it looks. And then even this little speaker, this whole time y'all been hearing this music, and it's that loud. It's crazy. Now the Game Boy Advance SP, they suck because they removed the 3.5 millimeter jack. The Game Boy Advance Micro put it back. Now it isn't the cleanest sound, but they do have mods for it so that you can clip the audio to be nice and clean as you can get with analog signal. So yeah, I hook up my headphones all the time that I use for my PlayStation 5 and 4 headphones and jam out in privacy because the original Game Boy Advance, as you can see, had that 3.5 millimeter jack underneath it, and then the Game Boy Micro put it back. It's amazing that they got so much into this little form factor, device that just blows your mind. It's crazy. I mean, they didn't tell nobody they were releasing it. They just said, hey, here you go. Let's release this new last little push as a novelty item because it actually has for, you put in that little holder so you can keep it on your wrist. I guess so you can just let it jingle from a keychain, if you're stuck in traffic. Oh, let me play my Game Boy Micro real quick. But yeah, it is awesome that you can just carry this beautiful thing around and just play some of the most beautiful games that Nintendo has ever made, which was the Game Boy Advance line of games. This was basically like a Super Nintendo in your hand. That's what it was. It's basically that. And it sucked because it does not let you play your Game Boy games on it. It's not backwards compatible. If I had a Crits multi-cart, then I think there's a way you can play your Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games, all that. Game Boy games on the Micro, like you do your Game Boy Advance SP and stuff, because the originals, no problem. Just get it, boom, turn it on. It automatically makes the screen smaller, and boom, you can start playing, in color Game Boy games. But the Micro, they took that away. You can't. You cannot. No matter what you do, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna work. It just slides and stops. It just teases you. That's all that is. It's just letting you marinate it and nothing else. But let me show you some gameplay from this Donkey Kong Country too. Because this game, every time I play it, it still trips me out on the dialogue. Look how cool the blue buttons are down there. I love that it lights up like that. Oh, here, you know what? You want to hear? Let me pause it. Yeah, one thing I forgot was I can actually let you hear it in stereo sound if I hook my headphones up to it. So let me get a good picture for you. There you go. And now I'm gonna hook up this stereo down here, these headphone jacks, and let you rock out in analog glory. There it goes. All right, all right. Look how beautiful that is, y'all. And it sounds good for being analog. It is really crazy. And as you can see, it's very responsive. Oh, almost fell. I can't see. It's so hard to play this game. Okay, y'all. Yeah, it's really hard to play this while doing it on the camera, but as you can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful game. There's some kind of lag from the screen, so it's kind of hard for me to see. Oh, sorry. There you go. Sorry about that. All right, let's try another game so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, just turn it off real quick. Let's try some Kirby. All right, hold on. Uh-oh. Trying to look at the camera. Sorry, I keep moving that camera around. I apologize for that, y'all. Just want to show y'all some gameplay, but as you can see, it is very, very beautiful. It's very vibrant. So yeah, go out there and find your Game Boy Advance, y'all, and enjoy it like I am. Oh, what was that? I have no idea. Enjoy it like I am. Until next time, peace and much love from Joe's Retro War, y'all.